And we are going to start with Liverpool. Fair to say they have defensive problems with the injuries stacking up, the latest of which is Joel Matip, who was substituted in the game against Tottenham last night. So will Jurgen Klopp make a move in the market to bring a centre-back in? Here is what he's had to say this lunchtime.
Well, I don't know, but we will try. So it's not a lot. The only thing, it would be funny when you all think, oh, Liverpool is just fine with the situation and they don't care, and then they don't try. We try, but how you know, there's nothing to say until something happens. So we will see. And the situation yesterday, didn't make it easier or whatever, but it's just still we try to do the right things. If that's possible, we will do it. If not, then not.
I'm just wondering, the tone seems to have changed from, we could do something maybe, but we probably won't, to we will try to do something. I'm just wondering if there's a moment where that emphasis changed and you knew you had to try and do something.
Sorry, so my thoughts didn't change. My words might have, but that's probably rather because of my English. No, same situation as before. We work on this. We don't have always training, and we don't do always press conference. There's time in between. If we don't sleep, we work, and so that's what we did all the time. We will see.
Just in terms of trying to get someone in before Monday's deadline, is the biggest challenge trying to make it work financially, or is it more the difficulty of finding someone with the right skill set who is available and fits the way you play?
I think, can you divide these two things? So, I'm not sure there's a 80 million centre-back available in the moment, so that the club says, okay, we got 80 million for him, but we want to sell him now. I don't think that's the case, to be honest, or pretty much I know. So this player with this caliber probably is, I'm not sure, the teams would sell them now. Yeah. No, it's both. Of course, we need to find the right player, that's clear, and it needs to suit our financial situation, that's clear as well. So, well, it's both.
There we go, Jurgen Klopp. Some interesting questions and some interesting answers there from the Liverpool manager, saying they will try to sign a centre-back before the deadline and the window closes on Monday evening. What do you make of what he said there? It's the most open he's been about signing a centre-back.
I thought it was a brilliant press conference. Jurgen Klopp's English is fantastic when he talks about the English. But really interesting bit of excellent question, excellent last question. And then Jurgen Klopp says someone to come in and play immediately. And he mentions £80 million. So is that Jurgen Klopp saying, for my ideal defender, that's the sort of money we expect to pay? Does that mean they maybe look possibly into the loan market? Now, we mentioned earlier, didn't we, when they loaned in Stephen Corker, albeit quite a long time ago, a very different Liverpool back then. But look, his stance has changed. This isn't about language. His stance has changed. And, of course, Matip's injury as well. But, however, he lost Fabinho as well in a training session when they trained at Leyton Orient before that. He's also said that Fabinho will miss their next game against West Ham as well. So there are problems, and he's addressing them now.
It almost goes against the grain of the way Liverpool have kind of worked within the transfer windows over the course of the last few years. They've always had a structure and a plan. They've identified the players they've wanted, and if they've had to wait a window to go and get them, then they've waited a window. But when they've got their target, they very often don't deviate from that target, whereas this is perhaps the first time we've heard Jurgen Klopp be open to say, well maybe we will go and try and do something. I think it was, we will try, were his words. So it's quite different, from the way that they would have historically approached the situation. But like he also said, what players are out there right now that you could go and get with, 72 hours or so to go until the window closes, that are going to be capable of challenging at the sharp end of the Premier League, in the Champions League, and take silverware to Anfield? Yeah, there's not many of those around.
Yeah, you've got a dream scenario, but then you've got a realistic scenario. The dream scenario would be around December when you're trying to work it out. That's why Jamie Carragher said before in November, I fully expect Liverpool to have a new defender in January the 1st. Look, it's January the 29th. We've got 3 days to go. So that's not going to happen. Are they going to come in with a big bid for a player? It looks unlikely. Mentioning the 80 million in my eyes makes that look even more unlikely. To me, it sounds like a loan, or it could be a fringe player on the Premier League, someone who's on the benchmark.
But trying to find a fringe player, because every single Premier League club is in the same situation at the moment. They're all desperate to keep hold of their players. They're all worried about injuries and suspensions in the second part of the season, where you're going to have hopefully no further delays because of COVID, but naturally things are going to be tweaked and changed. There are going to be some sides that progress into the latter stages of cup competitions, which is going to affect Premier League matches. And of course, you do not want to get relegated at the moment because of the financial situation that these clubs are in. So there's going to be very few Premier League clubs that are willing to let a fringe defender go out to another side, particularly when they might be called upon themselves. Why would a manager leave themselves exposed?
Just to remind you of the situation at Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez both out with knee injuries. Then Joel Matip was taken off last night with what looks like an ankle injury. Fabinho is being assessed after he picked up an injury as well. So at the moment, Liverpool have Reece Williams and Nat Phillips and then Jordan Henderson, who's been filling in there. I think it's important to point out that Jurgen Klopp said today they are confident that Reece Williams and Nat Phillips will have very good careers. But it's at this stage that perhaps Liverpool need a little bit of help on that front at centre-back. Liverpool facing West Ham United this Sunday, which is a vital game for both of those teams. If you want to have your say, then get in touch, #TransferTalk. Plenty of you got involved on Good Morning Transfers in suggesting names that potentially Liverpool might sign on deadline day. So if you've got any more suggestions, get those into us this afternoon.